This is Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. But before we get started, we're going to need to tune. They're tuned pretty low for this song, and then we'll get going. Here's my low E, the 6th string. A, the 5th string. D, the 4th string. G, the 3rd string. B, the 2nd string. And the high E string, the 1st string. Okay, now that we're in tune, let's get started on some of the techniques you're going to use to learn this song. Okay, here's all the techniques you're going to need to go over before we can start working on the verses and choruses to Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. And we're going to start it with the chords. The first chord you're going to need to know is an A chord. And the way you form that is you use your first finger over the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, all on the 2nd fret. So you're going to cover them all with one finger. And you're going to pluck only the strings that have your fingers on them, and also the open 5th string here. And that's our A chord. Similar to the A chord is what I like to call a one-finger chord. And what I'm doing here is using my first finger across just 2 strings, the 4th and 3rd strings. And just plucking the 4th and 3rd strings only. Like so. You can see my picking motion is very small. Next we're going to look at the power chord shape. And the way we form that is we use our first finger on the 5th string. 3rd and 4th are going to come over to the 4th string and 3rd strings. And we're going to strum only those 3 strings. Like this. And that's a movable chord. We can move it around to form different sounds. And incidentally, we're going to use the one-finger chord for the beginning of the song, and the movable chord we're going to use in the verse. And the next technique we're going to have to go over is the hammer-on. Now, when we do a hammer, we strike a note. In this case, we'll do it on the 5th fret of the 5th string. And then we're going to use our 3rd finger to wind up and get some momentum and fret the next note without picking. So we're going to pick and then get the next note by not picking. Pick, not pick. And we're going to do that on 2 different strings. We're going to do it on the 5th string and on the 4th string. And that's the part of the song that goes like this. Okay, next up is the bend. When you bend a string, you bend the pitch of it upwards by taking the string and pushing it upwards on the fretboard like this. And ideally, the pitch should be pretty close or match the note on the next string over 3 frets below it. In this case, the 5th fret on the 1st string is going to sound the same as the bent 8th fret on the 2nd string. Now when they do, they kind of bend as they go. And we're going to use that in both the beginning lead and also the solo to the song. Last up is the trill. And what we do there, it's a hammer-on sequence and a pull-off sequence. We hammer and then pull off without picking again, and what we do is we maintain it and keep it going without picking, like this. And what I'm doing here is I'm on the 12th fret with my index finger and the 15th fret with my 3rd finger, all on the 2nd string. Like that. And we're going to use the whammy bar with that too, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So those are the techniques you're going to need to know to play this song. Let's go ahead and get started with the intro and verse. Okay, this is the intro and also the chorus to Shout at the Devil. We're going to cover them both at once because they're pretty similar. And basically, we're going to use our 1st finger chord that we used earlier, or we can use our 3rd finger for it too. We can just as easily hit 2 notes with our 3rd finger to create this chord here. So we would have 1st finger like this and 3rd finger like this, along with the open A string. Alright, so there's our intro. The whole thing starts with our open A string. We're going to hit that twice, and then our 2-string chord here. So we have. Then we will have what's called a pick scrape, and what we're going to do is take the edge of our pick and just kind of scrape it across the strings like so. And it's good to do it over the fretboard for this one. You can do it down here near the strings, but for this one you want to get a little bit of the fretted noise in there too. And I'm just taking it and kind of dragging it across the strings like this. So far we have this. Then we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to use our 3rd finger here. Another pick scrape. And we're going to do that twice. And then we're going to do the same thing and just do 2 A strings here. For the next section, here it is again. And then we're going to use our hammer-on riff. 5 to 7 on the 5th string. 5 to 7 on the 4th string. Like so, about that fast. Then we're going to scoot over to the 3rd string. And just pick the 3rd string with your 3rd finger on the 7th fret, and then back to this chord. So slowly what we have for that riff is this. And then the second time around, he does what's called an artificial harmonic. It'll sound like that. And the way I'm creating this is I'm taking the fleshy part of my hand. You can see that I'm not really using much pick. I'm actually picking with the skin of my hand along with the pick. You can get all sorts of different sounds as you see by doing this, by moving it along the string. But right about there is where you want it. Right over the bridge pickup. Or the neck pickup, rather. So this whole thing looks like this. Or the first time through. Second time through. And from there, when the drums come in and the other guitar comes in, that goes like this. You can probably hear that in the background lead, and we will get to that. What we're going to do is do 3 A strings in rhythm. Like so. So we have then our riff. Like so. And that does it for the rhythm guitar for the intro. Let's go ahead and move on to the lead guitar for the intro. Okay, this is the lead guitar over the intro for Shout at the Devil. It's going to pretty much be comprised of the bend technique that we learned earlier in the lesson, and we're just going to move that around to create the lead. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with my index finger on the 8th fret and third finger on the 11th fret, and bend the second string, the 11th fret note, till it sounds like the 8th fret note. And then I shake it a little bit here. After that, we just move it down to the 7th fret. Same idea. Then index finger on 5th fret. So far we have this. And the second time through, we're going to go from 8th to 10th and to 5th. Again, that's 8th, 10th, 5th. So when we put the whole thing together, we get this. And that's about it for the lead over the intro. Let's move along to the verse. Okay, this is the verse for Shout at the Devil. I'm going to play it along with the music with you a couple times so you can see how it looks as my fingers move around the fretboard. This one's going to feature our power chord, our movable chord, and also our A chord, with a little bit of a strum here that I'm going to show you in a minute. Something like that. And at the end of it, it's also going to feature a 2nd fret power chord, which we'll get to. It all starts on the 5th fret with our power chord. We're going to play one of those, move it to 3rd, play one of those, and then to A. Play 2 of those, and then we're going to have a little muted note in there. And the way I create that is I take my hand here and just kind of brush it over the strings so that I get a muted sound. And then we're going to go back to C, which is the 3rd fret chord. So it's going to look like this. See how quick that mute goes? You almost don't hear it. From there we're going to go 5, 3, A. And then we're going to stop that note dead. It's going to only happen about that fast. So the whole thing looks like this. And by the way, the second time through I went, which is down, down, up, down, up, down. So slowly the whole thing's going to look like this. And you're going to do that 3 times. The last time through goes C, which is the 3rd fret chord, by the way. The name of this is C, in case you're wondering. You don't really need to know that but to play the song. But just in case, now you know it's C. And then we move to the 2nd fret. And then it's into the chorus that we learned earlier. So when we play the whole thing together, it's going to look like this. This little deal 3 times. There's once, twice, 3, and then our last part. And then we go into the chorus, which you've already learned. So let's go ahead now and work on the next part of the song. Okay, I'm going to play the chorus along with the music now so you can see how it looks as I go through it. We've already learned the chorus riff in the intro, and that's the one that goes like this. There's our artificial harmonic. So the first time through, I think he does it without the artificial harmonic. The second time he does it with it. Listen closely to the music so that you can pick up where it is, because he does it different ways throughout the whole song. You see there in that one, the first run through he did the artificial harmonic, and the second run through he went to the chord. There we go. There's the chorus to the song. Let's move on. Okay, here's the solo to the song. It uses most of the techniques that we've gone over so far, including a little bit of whammy bar too. And what I'm going to do is play it along. So what I'm doing here is I start with our bent lick that we learned earlier on the 3rd fret this time. Should sound like that. Then we move it down to 2nd. And then here we're going to use our open E string, the 1st string, along with a bent 3rd fret note right here. So far we have this. Next up, we have our trill that we learned earlier. And we just throw the whammy bar in with that. To get that effect. And what I'm doing here is just pressing down and pulling up on the whammy bar. Something like that. And listen to the recording closely to get it. He's got this kind of thing going where he does that pull-up thing like that and gets that kind of sound towards the end of the trill. If you fiddle around with it a little bit, you'll pick it up. It's really hard to explain on video, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. After that, he goes to the 3rd fret again, then up to 5th. And then here we're going to use another artificial harmonic technique while bending the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And down up that one a couple times. Like that. So if we take the whole solo, we have 3, 2, open, tremolo, then 3, 5, 2. I'll do that once more for you. We got 3, 2, open, tremolo, then 3, 5, artificial harmonic. And that pretty much does it for the solo. Let's move along to the next part of the song. Okay, this is the rhythm under the solo for Shout at the Devil, and I'll play it along with the music ones for you so you can see how it goes, and then we'll go over it chord for chord. By the way, we have a really low chord in this one. Sounds really low and dirty. It's called the E chord, and the way we create that is we use our 1st finger over the 5th string and 4th strings on the 2nd fret, similar to what we did with the A. Except here we just move it all over one set of strings. Like this, and then we have a little riff and a couple power chords to take us out of it. Well, there it is. Let's go over it note for note. We're going to do a couple sets of 2 of these. Actually, 3 sets of 2. And then we're going to go open E, 6th string open, 1st finger to 2nd fret, 6th string. Then 2nd finger to 3rd fret, 6th string. Then we're going to move over to 5th string, do the same thing. Open, 2nd fret, and then 3rd fret. So what that sounds like more quickly is... So we have this. And we're going to do that twice. The last time it goes. And those power chords I played were 3, with your root finger on the 6th string to 4, and then back into the verse. So if we play the whole thing through, it's going to look like this. And then we're back into the verse. So there's the rhythm under the solo. Let's move along. Okay, and this brings us to the end of the song where it fades out. It's all the same idea. With our first finger chords, this time we're just going to slide them. And then we're going to use our other lick again. This time fretting the 3rd string notes individually as opposed to a chord. So every time we're going to go. I'll play it along with the music a couple times so you can see what I mean. Basically, we're going to do our same rhythm on the A note that we heard earlier, and then slide from 4th to 5th, like this on the 3rd and 4th strings. Then we're going to do the same A note again, and slide from 5th to 7th. So what we have is this. And then back to 4 to 5. So we have this. Then our lick that we've been doing all day. And then it all starts over again. And there's the ending part of the song. Now the lead guitar in the end is the same thing that we saw in the intro. It's just 8th fret, 7th, 5, then 8th, 10, 5. So we already saw that in the intro, and then it kind of fades out from there. So there's the ending of the song. Let's move along.